Imagine Rome, 44 BC, a city at the zenith of its power, yet teetering on the brink of profound change, and at the heart of it all, one man, Gaius Julius Caesar. He was more than a general, more than a politician, more than an orator. He was a force of nature, a conqueror whose ambition knew no bounds. He had expanded Rome's empire, amassed incredible wealth, and most importantly, had become an unparalleled figure of power. Remember his legendary dispatch after a swift victory, Veni Vidi Vici, I came, I saw, I conquered. This wasn't just a clever phrase, it was Caesar's very essence. The Republic, that cherished ideal of Roman governance, was a distant memory for many. Caesar, having crossed the Rubicon and emerged victorious from a brutal civil war, was now its undisputed master. But with immense power comes immense scrutiny, and for some, immense fear. Caesar had been declared dictator perpetuo, dictator for life. This was an unprecedented move, a direct affront to centuries of Roman tradition where power was shared and terms were limited. Whispers began to spread, whispers of a king, of a tyrant. Rome, built on the foundations of liberty, could it truly stomach a monarch? While Caesar was showered with honors and adoration by the populace, a dark undercurrent was forming amongst the very senators who outwardly praised him. These were men who had fought alongside him, men he considered friends, allies, even family. Yet they saw not a benevolent leader, but a threat to the republic they held so dear. They feared he would dismantle their institutions, seize absolute control, and forever extinguish the flame of Roman liberty. The ringleaders, the chief architects of this plot, were two men: Gaius Cassius Longinus, a brilliant but cynical senator, and Marcus Junius Brutus, a man revered for his honor, his intellect, and his unyielding commitment to republican ideals. Brutus, in particular, was a complex figure. He was a protege of Caesar, even rumored to be his illegitimate son. Caesar had shown him great favor, yet Brutus wrestled with a profound internal conflict. His loyalty to Caesar versus his loyalty to Rome. Ultimately, the Republic won. The conspirators met in secret, their numbers swelling. They were a diverse group: disgruntled generals, ambitious politicians, staunch Republicans. Among them was Decimus Junius Brutus Albinus, another close confidant of Caesar, a man Caesar implicitly trusted. Decimus played a crucial deceptive role. The conspirators believed that by eliminating Caesar, they would save Rome from tyranny and restore the Republic to its former glory. They even considered a more widespread rebellion, but ultimately decided a swift, decisive strike was their only path. The date they chose was the Ides of March, March 15th, 44 BC, a day that would forever be etched in history. Caesar, despite receiving numerous warnings, prophecies, omens, even a direct plea from his wife Calpurnia, who had a terrifying dream, dismissed them all. His hubris, his confidence, perhaps even a touch of fatalism, led him to ignore the danger that lurked in the shadows. On that fateful morning, Calpurnia's fears were so intense that Caesar considered staying home. It was Decimus Brutus who, using his deep personal influence and the pretense of urgent senatorial business, persuaded Caesar to come. He essentially walked Caesar into the trap, reassuring him, dismissing his wife's premonitions, and escorting him directly to his doom. As Caesar entered the Senate, he was immediately surrounded. The first to strike was Publius Servilius Casca, who lunged at Caesar's neck, a glancing blow. Caesar fought back, attempting to escape, but the sheer number of attackers overwhelmed him. One by one, the daggers found their mark. 23 times they stabbed him, and then he saw him. Among the faces of his attackers, he saw Brutus, the man he had loved, trusted, and elevated. It was then, according to tradition, that Caesar uttered the immortal words that still resonate today: Et tu, Brute? You too, Brutus? Or, as some historians suggest, a more dramatic, despairing question: You too, my son? The betrayal, from the one he least expected, was the final crushing blow. He covered his face with his toga and fell at the foot of a statue of his old rival, Pompey the Great. The immediate aftermath was pandemonium. The senators, even those not involved in the conspiracy, scattered in terror. The conspirators, their hands bloody, raised their daggers and proclaimed to the stunned few who remained that they had liberated Rome. They rushed out into the streets shouting about freedom, expecting to be hailed as heroes. But the Roman populace was not so easily swayed. They had loved Caesar. He had brought them prosperity, entertainment, and a sense of order after years of civil strife. The initial reaction was not celebration, but shock, fear, and then slowly, rage. Marcus Antonius, or Mark Antony, Caesar's loyal general and friend, saw an opportunity. He skillfully used Caesar's will and, more powerfully, Caesar's body itself, to turn public opinion against the assassins. At Caesar's funeral, Antony delivered a masterful eulogy, beginning with the powerful appeal, "Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. I come to bury Caesar, not to praise him." With every word, every reveal of Caesar's wounds, Antony fanned the flames of outrage. The conspirators, now hunted men, were forced to flee Rome. The assassination of Julius Caesar did not restore the Republic. Instead, it plunged Rome into another, even bloodier civil war. The power vacuum left by Caesar's death was filled by a triumvirate: Mark Antony, Marcus Aemilius Lepidus, and Caesar's adopted son and heir, Gaius Octavius, who would later become the first Roman Emperor Augustus. The conspirators, including Brutus, Cassius, and Decimus, were eventually hunted down and defeated at the Battle of Philippi. Veni, Vidi, Vici remains Caesar's defiant summary of his conquests, a sharp contrast to the chaotic end he met. The story of Caesar's assassination compels us to ponder profound questions. Can true liberty be achieved through violence? What is the price of power, and what are the limits of ambition? And how do we judge those who, for what they believe is the greater good, commit acts that forever change the course of history? The Ides of March remains a testament to the fragile nature of power, the enduring power of ambition, and the timeless tragedy of friends turning into murderers. If you found this journey through one of history's most gripping tales as fascinating as we did, imagine what other secrets and stories are waiting to be uncovered. Don't just hear history, experience it. Subscribe to Naked History to peel back the layers of the past and discover the raw, unfiltered truths that shaped our world.